I'm just going to go ahead and read this one from up here at the dais. This proclamation is for Pride Month for June 2024. Whereas Pride Month began in June 1969 on the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in New York City after LGBTQ persons and their allies rose up against discriminatory laws which have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas Auburn denounces prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, race, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, and as a city in which all persons should feel valued, safe, welcomed, and respected by their peers in the community. Whereas all are welcomed in Auburn to live, work, and play, and every family in all of its various forms deserves a place to call home where they are safe, happy, and supported by friends and neighbors. Whereas Auburn appreciates the value and dignity of each person, recognizes the importance of equality and freedom, and acknowledges the positive contributions made by members of the LGBTQ community to actively promote principles of equality and acceptance. Now, therefore, I, Rachel Del Harris, Mayor of Auburn, do hereby proclaim June 2024 as Pride Month. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine McBride, a resident of North Auburn, and I'm speaking on behalf of Lee Fryer, who couldn't make it tonight. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. In light of your pending decision to recognize the so-called Pride Month, I'd like to offer the following statement. I believe sexual desires that deviate persistently from heterosexuality confuse a spiritual condition in a person from their essence and biology. In contrast to my belief, the Pride movement presumes sexuality is a sure and absolute basis for identity and individuality. Following that philosophical assumption, today we have dutiful orientations multiplying under the Pride banner, and adults in authority creating conditions in children that destine them to bodily deformations and lasting confusions. This is very sad. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Good evening, board. I just want to address a few things. First, it wasn't that long ago that with the Auburn Union School District, the board I sit on, they did a presentation here, and it wasn't really too good a report that we got from you guys. And I just want to, mention that it was the prior boards that put us in this position to make swift, fast decisions to keep this board to go out to not go into receivership. And so I was really disappointed with this board not recognizing, that point. And now we see.
You're disappointed with the city council?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Is this going to be a dialogue?
No, I just wanted to clarify because you said board.
Okay.
We're not a board.
Okay, the city council. Thank you for that clarification. And so you guys find yourself in almost the same situation coming up. And I encourage you, this isn't threaten you or anything. I encourage you is now's the time to take swift actions, to pass the buck down the road and try to come up with alternate solutions. You guys need to cut budgets. Budgets need to be cut. And I would like to say I have the confidence that you guys will find those areas that could be cut. And the next thing I want to address is that, this is a reminder to myself as well, that as the elected officials, we are not elected to take part in social or political movements. And with this Pride Month, this was a social and political movement that you guys took part in. And I would like to make my own statement on that. And so I've been attacked. I've been called a racist. I've been called a bigot. I've been attacked for the love that I have, my religion, the love that I have for Jesus Christ. And recently, I've been slandered as being a part of anti-government groups. So I really hope you guys don't support any of that. And I would like to leave, and I like to, with a proclamation myself of We the People, is that any form of witchcraft, any forms of idolatry, any forms of child sacrifice will not be tolerated, and your days are numbered. Thank you.
Okay. Something we've done in the past to make public comment move a little faster is there's the applause sign and sign language is this, so that way we're not having to do applause after everyone. So if you are in support of what someone is saying, feel free to do this, and then we can kind of keep things moving along. So thank you.
Mayor and council members, my name is Connie Brocker, and I'm from Auburn. And as a believer in Jesus Christ, I am called to stand for righteousness, truth, and morality. And I am really concerned about the whole proclamation for the Pride Month. As I look at Pride LGBTQ plus agenda, it is a degradation of humanity. It boasts arrogance, selfish ambition, and it promotes a sexually deviant and violent lifestyle that crosses all boundaries. It is destructive to families, exploits and mutilates children under the guise of being born the wrong gender. And it is perverse in practice. Pride LGBTQ projects a facade of a loving community, but it is far from the truth in reality. There are many who have transitioned from their born gender to the opposite sex, only to face suicidal thoughts after the fact as they realize the mutilation of their bodies prevents them from living a normal life. I think specifically of Chloe Cole, and she is only one of many who are detransitioning, and their bodies are so mutilated they can never, like she talks about being having mastectomies on both sides, and she'll never be able to nurse children. And she is not a boy, she is a girl, and that was what she was born. Looking back at ancient civilizations such as Sodom and Gomorrah, which was annihilated for sexual sin, it's not a road that I want to see our community go down, and the consequences are extremely grievous. Saturday, I had gone to the Capitol for a Let Us Worship event, and while we were waiting for it to start, a young man who was at a Pride event 2 blocks down the street. He was dressed only in boxers and socks. And he came down and he was ready to do a strip tease until he was ushered away. And then we had to walk through a whole group of Pride because we took the light rail. And it was alarming. The clothing, the action, the dress, the various things that they were doing. I didn't sleep well that night. I was very bothered by this. I know the council is searching for ways to raise revenue in order to cover the huge deficit that you've incurred, that you have not incurred, but you've inherited. However, I suggest that there's better ways to raise funds than getting federal funds. In that respect, why not ask the community at large for ideas, bake sales, sponsor a bike ride
I'm sorry, Connie, that's 3
for
minutes.
city? Thank you very much.
For your comments.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Pat Pastoni, and I'm here to speak up a little bit about the proclamation tonight also. I always feel like, when you really are using kindness, which you hear a lot of today, that you show the actions of kindness, right? So anyway, I just think that it's sad that we, in the proclamation, we're opening a door, if you will, to down the road. Things don't happen just like really quick. They happen over a period of time. And when you open the door to something like this, it could totally change our whole city, and not for good. I'm a retired teacher. I love subbing in our schools, local schools here. And I'm so concerned with it. And it's not that, I dislike the people and, but it's what they're standing for and what they're putting on the young children. You see, as a teacher, I have a heart for the young ones, and they're just growing up. They're young. They're not adults like all of us. And they're being fed stuff like this. Okay. This is just one example of an LGBT book. Okay. It feels good to be yourself. Beautiful illustrator, I might say, but I want to read you just a couple pages. And this is what's being taught to our little ones. You see, when you were born, you couldn't tell people who you were or how you felt. They looked at you and made a guess. Maybe they got it right. Maybe they got it wrong. What a baby's body looks like when they're born, it could be a clue to what the baby's gender will be, but not always. Again, this is so confusing. And these are the kind of books that we're allowing, because they pilot these books and we get them free and we get them and then teachers use them. It's confusing to children. Let them grow up and be children, and the pride, as I see, is just, like I said, it's opening a door to more of this kind of stuff. And, we're fighting this in our school boards. We're not fighting the people. It's not the people. We care about the people. We don't, I like all people. But again, I don't like it when they're doing this to the children who are not adults yet to make a decision if they want to have that kind of lifestyle. Adults should be able to make that. And, I should be okay if they decide to go that way. But when it's pushed in my face and my grandchildren and the students that I have, I get really, really upset. So I would just urge that you would really, in your proclamation, whatever that's going to be, and if you're going to fly the flag or whatever you're going to do, that you'll just think about it a little bit more. Think of the children. Okay. Think of the children. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. I'm Mrs. R.D. Malali. I think there's been some amazing comments tonight. My first comment would be, I have grown to know and admire and respect Jason Wedge. I've gotten to know him over the years. He's not only a friend, he's a brother in Christ. He is one of the men of highest integrity that I've ever met. He works cooperatively with all walks of people, all walks of life. I've seen that. I've never heard a foul word, a foul gesture towards anyone as far as being unkind or ugly towards anyone. So the slander that's happening, you need to be aware that I don't know what that person's agenda is. I can guess what the agenda might be, but that would only be a guess. But I have come to know him and his wife and their most respectful family and members of this community. And along with Greg Holt, I got to hear him and hear his bio. What an intelligent, compassionate, both of these men, intelligent, compassionate men who are serving sacrificially for our children in this community. So I hope that this is resolved without further litigation and such, but it will be handled and in a public apology or something of that way for his reputation. God knows who he is, and he knows who he is, and we know who he is. And whatever lies are being spread, they are lies. Second agenda, the pride flag. First of all, what I've been taught, it's not a flag, it's a banner. And to fly it with the American flag is not okay. And whatever they've done in the White House, et cetera, I too respect all peoples. I don't respect all agendas. So I know there's been some really pleasant things here said tonight, but what I want to say along with that is with a tone that this LGBTXYZ, or the letters that I don't know that will continue on and can continue to be added onto, is an abomination, absolute abomination. There is an agenda. And so when pandemic started, and we know we could call it COVID, we could call it pandemic, I didn't misspeak. It's a plandemic. So 1619, CRT, LGBT and the community schools, which is on the next one, the community schools. That is socialism and communism on the rise. And so we are very aware when that curtain got pulled back and those parents at home got to see what was taught in the schools and some of the curriculum of porn and the perversion and the lies, the 1619 Project, the CRT, which is just escalating racism. And 1619 is teaching our kids to hate America. We've seen it and we understand what's happening. We understand the agendas behind it. So please, we are asking as a community, we are a conservative community. We respect all people in your language. Please consider it. Thank you.